Hello there, everyone. Potassium is one of the most important nutrients for your body. It helps you regulate the fluid balance and maintain healthy nerve function. This is why a lack of potassium causes serious problems. Now you might be wondering, how do I know if I have a potassium deficiency or not? Starting from digestion problems to heart palpitations and fatigue, there are many signs and symptoms of potassium deficiency. In this video, we'll be talking about all of them and more. Number 1. Breathing problem. Many people report breathing difficulties when they have potassium deficiency. Why does it happen? You see, when potassium relays the signal to your lungs, it stimulates in order to expand and contract. This allows you to inhale and exhale air. Now imagine if you don't have enough potassium for your body. There'll be nothing in your system to stimulate your lungs. This can cause breathing issues. What's even scarier is that it's not where your problem ends. Your heart will begin to beat abnormally. If not taken care of, the lack of potassium can damage your lungs. This reminds us, we did a video on how to reverse lung damage. Please feel free to check it out. Number 2. Stiffness of muscles. One of the main functions of potassium in your body is to regulate blood flow through your muscles. When there's a lack of potassium in your blood, the vessels may contract due to a lack of oxygen. Due to this low amount of oxygen, blood flow in your body will also slow down. This leads to muscle stiffness. If this is allowed to go on, your blood vessels will rupture. You might also get muscle spasms if the condition is left untreated. It must also be noted that muscle stiffness and spasms may be caused by other problems. For example, fatigue, fever, or simple activities that drain your energy. So don't jump to conclusions. Instead, go to a doctor and tell them about your symptoms. This leads to our next entry. But before we continue, make sure you've subscribed to our channel. Don't forget to hit that like button and ring the notification bell. This way you'll be kept up to date on all of our great Bestie content. Number 3. Fatigue. In most cases of potassium deficiency, fatigue is a known symptom. Are you wondering what fatigue has to do with potassium deficiency? As we stated earlier, potassium regulates blood flow through muscles. As there's no potassium to regulate the flow, there's a lack of oxygen. When there's a lack of oxygen, your body gets tired easily. This makes your muscles weaker. This is why you feel fatigue. Apart from that, there's one more factor at play here. In the absence of potassium and scarcity of oxygen, your heart is forced to pump blood at a faster rate. This puts pressure on your arteries and veins. It can also burn tons of calories. As a result, you'll lose a lot of energy in the process. When you're drained and out of energy, you're left with a body that's exhausted and fatigued. Looking to detox your body? We did a video on it a year ago. Make sure you check it out. Number 4. Issues with your heartbeat. In the last 2 points, we spoke about a lack of potassium and oxygen causing the heart to pump blood at a faster rate. This basically means the heart needs to put in more effort. As a result, your heart starts to beat faster, while at other times it skips a beat. This feeling is common with people who have anxiety, depression, and stress. In case you're wondering, yes, potassium affects your mood. More on that a little later though. Coming back to the point, this problem with your heartbeat may also lead to an arrhythmia. It's characterized by irregularities in your beat and is often a symptom of an underlying heart problem. If you really don't want to deal with any of these issues, we would recommend that you consume potassium regularly. It's not that hard. Bananas, oranges, and apricots are quite high in potassium, so the next time you visit the grocery store, make sure you get a lot of them. Number 5. Feeling numb. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that you can't feel your arms, legs, or feet. How scary does that sound? Well, that could very well be the case if you have low levels of potassium in your blood. We aren't saying this to scare you, it's important for you to know. You see, potassium is important for your nerve function. These nerves send signals from your brain to the rest of your body. Without potassium, your brain can't really send them properly. Even when it does, the signals are very weak. This is why you feel numb. It's the brain trying to send signals, but it's failing to do so. Although, it's not just a lack of potassium that causes this problem. If it happens sometimes, then you have nothing to worry about, but if it persists, then please rush to the doctor. Number 6. Cramps. Cramps are very common in potassium deficiency. When we say cramps, we don't really want to specify any particular type. They can occur anywhere. You can even get cramps in your abdomen if you have a potassium deficiency. If you feel stiffness and you don't report it to the doctor, this stiffness will evolve into cramps or spasms. Who would have thought that a simple lack in potassium would lead to this? This is why you should make sure to consume as much as possible. This way you'll be able to prevent most of the problems we're mentioning in this video. Number 7. Mood swings. Many people have related potassium deficiency with fatigue. How are they related? Well, remember we spoke about heartbeat problems? This is somewhat related to that. Due to the lack of potassium, the heart is under a lot of pressure. The brain tries to send important information, but the signals are weak in the absence of potassium. As a result, the stress levels start to rise. Over time, this leads to depression and anxiety. The lack of oxygen in the blood also plays a major role. As a matter of fact, it was found that around 20% of people with mental disorders had low potassium in their blood. Now that should be convincing enough. Of course, more research is required to understand if these disorders can be dealt with by consuming more potassium. One thing's for sure though, if you have a healthy intake of potassium, you won't have to deal with them. Number 8. Constipation. Due to low levels of potassium in your body, food passes through your gut very slowly. As a result, you may have constipation. Although lack of potassium isn't the only cause of constipation, it may be a result of too much dietary fiber. It could also occur if you have dehydration. It's also seen in people who have stomach problems. So once again, we would suggest not to jump to conclusions. If you're indeed facing a problem with your gut, going to the doctor and telling them about your symptoms is always the best option. Do you happen to know anyone with a potassium deficiency? Do they complain about any of the points we mentioned in this video? Let us know in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. Enjoyed this video? Hit like, share, and subscribe to Bestie. Wait! What kind of Bestie would we be if we didn't tell you about our other awesome videos? Go ahead, choose the left or right video and enjoy.